Serbia and Germany. Come on, England!
Is Gareth Southgate a manager that scares you as well?
No.
Why?
What's he achieved?
Are you supporting Scotland as well? Do you want them to do well at this time?
Absolutely not. We're going to win it.
We're going to win. It's coming home.
We're going to win it. Definitely going to win it.
Guys, welcome back to Football Trending. We're going to get straight into it. You, man, game yesterday, 1-1-0. Thoughts?
Dull.
I'm disappointed.
Dull.
So disappointed.
I don't even know where to start with it because I thought we were great for like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of like petered out, especially second half. It was just like, I know, and everyone's saying it, but like, it was just, I was watching it at like a pub and it was just like, the sort of interest in it started to wane. I was like, this is the first game of the Euros and we're all, like, the fans are already a bit like,
there's been such big talk already about like, you know, 4 games in and there are already 17 goals. And then, of course, it's England that are absolutely bucking the trend and playing the worst game so far.
I think the key takeaway
what we do.
It is. This is football heritage.
I think the key takeaways is Trent, I love you. You need to get the hell out of midfield. I'm sorry. He was poor.
Listen, he didn't have a great game. He had a couple of made a couple of bad decisions in possession. But then, to be fair, I think he did far more good stuff than he did bad. I think it's still too early. I think Southgate will give him another go against Denmark.
I mean, Joel's got splinters in his arse there, but
the thing is,
I do agree with Joel actually because I think Trent in midfield is a specific thing. It's almost like a solution to a problem that the opposition are posing, and I think in specific scenarios he's going to be really, really useful there. But I think Southgate was almost like, I need to put him in there at some point just so he almost gets that sharpness because it's so different to right back.
Agreed.
But I think I like him in there. I just think the way that the media is generally. He had one game at it, and it was either smash it or you were awful.
Disaster. Yeah.
Like there was no in between from the moment he started.
Yeah, the reality is I realised about England yesterday. You take away the Premier League Player of the Season, put him on the left wing for a right back to play centre mid, which is when you actually put it that way, it's actually mental.
Well, this is going to be the whole debate, isn't it?
Exactly.
This is going to be the whole debate and it is always a debate with international football. Do you basically play with your best 11 players who have played the best, or do you play the players that fit the system as well as possible? And I think the argument is going to be about Foden now as well.
Exactly.
It's Trent and Foden are now the sort of problem. And they weren't problems, but they weren't unbelievably good by their own standards.
Yeah, and to be honest, like staying on the fullbacks, you could tell that we don't have a left-footed left back as well.
God.
My word. Listen, Kieran Trippier is a good player, and I think he should be there. But you cannot have a right-footed left back cutting inside because the issue was so many times Trippier should have gone outside. So that was it Foden on the left-hand side could make that run. The reason we had absolutely no luck down the left is because whenever Trippier's got on the ball, he's immediately turned inside, and we lose all impetus. Yeah, of course it is, but. My God, Luke Shaw, we do need him.
We were crying out for left back yesterday. Just quickly before we move on, Kane.
Well, yeah, I mean...
He didn't get the ball, did he?
Was he there?
He didn't get the ball.
No, but also, that is, like... Imagine being Ivan Toney and Watkins sitting on that bench.
No, I've actually... This is maybe a controversial rate my take, but I thought Kane had a good game.
I don't think he had a good game, but I don't think he can be blamed for not being as involved as he should have been because, as you said, didn't get the service generally. The ball spent a lot of time in the second half. We barely had the ball at all. Serbia were dominant for the second half.
And also the first half, he was playing against a really low block where it's hard for a striker to get the ball. But I think for what he could do, he did it really well. The amount of times in the second half, all we needed him to do was either keep the ball or win a foul, and that is exactly what he did. And it was good number 9 play. I think to answer your question, if I was Toney or Watkins, I'd be looking at it going like, fucking hell, he's doing a decent job with fuck all service.
You say that though, I think that 6'5" centre-back for Serbia pocketed him. But like every time Pickford went long, their centre-back was like, bop,
he's
and just won it back.
6'5" at the end of the day.
Yeah, I personally think that you have to, in situations like that, you have to have the balls to take Kane off and put on Watkins or Toney. You took 2 strikers at the end of the day. Like you have to use one of them. And a group stage game where your striker is playing mid at best, You have to have the ball.
I was surprised he didn't make more subs.
Yeah.
I was like surprised that he brought Bowen on when he did, but then Bowen
Instant
created a
impact,
chance.
yeah.
It was a classic thing, in a pub where it's like, why the fuck's he coming on? Why is
That's why.
Bowen on?
That's why.
And it was like ding ding ding, and it was like the whole pub just went, yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, look,
It's like, why are you shooting from there for?
Yeah.
Pass it.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, mate, great goal.
It wasn't convincing, but they did what they had to do to get it
Yeah.
done. And we like, I think I heard him say on commentary, our record for opening games at the Euros is shocking. It's like 1 in 10.
1 in
before
10.
last
Yeah,
night.
I heard that yesterday.
So
I was like,
And that was the last
To be
Euro.
honest,
dub.
yeah, we'll take a win.
Yeah, you'll take the dub.
Absolutely
Yeah.
take the win.
we asked England fans out in Germany, is it coming home?
I think so. I'm semi-confident. We've been to all the qualifiers and everything. We'd like to think we're going to do all right, wouldn't we?
I mean, we was pretty confident before, but obviously with the defence, it's a bit.
The Iceland game and the Bosnian game has thrown us off a little bit, but we'd like to think we're going to do all right.
It could easily come home, yeah. Needed a little bit of luck, I think, but we could easily do it. We've got enough attacking talent to do it, definitely.
We're going to win it.
We're going to win. It's coming home.
We're going to win it. Definitely going to win it.
It's coming home.
Yes, definitely.
So you're actually happy with the squad?
No.
Obviously, my heart says yes, mate. My head tells me a bit different. Like, I've always been Southgate in. I think he might have got a couple of things a little bit wrong with squad selection. Like for me, Grealish has to be on the plane. Like, he's not. Like, for me, he wouldn't be a starter, but like profile of player, like we don't have him anywhere else in the squad.
I think we can, but I think there's a lot of competition that we've probably written off a little bit. I think Portugal have got a very strong squad. Germany themselves, well, probably got to say it because we're here as well. I don't think we're as much favourites as we think we are. I think back at home, yeah, we built it up quite a lot, and I think, as people have said, individually, I think we definitely probably have better players than most teams. But as a team, we haven't really seen it yet, and this, like 11, haven't played together. Like the best 11 that we have. As we were saying, with Gahey, good player, but haven't really seen enough of him. Obviously, Palace finished the season really well, and he was big to that. But we'll see. I think we've got a very good chance.
I think semi-final. If we don't win, then Southgate's gone. But I just think semi-final.
Yeah, is that because of the squad?
I think so. I think back four. I just think for as bad as how Harry Maguire is for Man U, I just think when he puts an English top on, he's just a different player. The attack's going to be interesting this year, I think. I do think Mr. Marcus Rashford, a runner in behind, but we've got very technical players in Phil Foden, Cole Palmer. Who's the other one?
Kane's going to do it all, isn't he?
Kane's
got to do it. If he doesn't do it, let's get back to fucking Germany, mate, because
You seem like an optimistic man, and I think it's coming home.
I hope it is. I really do.
What about Rashford or Bowen?
Obviously, Rashford. Fucking Rashford, mate.
But Bowen's on fire.
I would
Down
have.
is shagging down the dire, Bowen's on fire. I mean, it's a hard one, but I think after last night, Germany, England team's brilliant. I think there's a few players, Maguire, Rashford, Grealish, that could have a massive impact on that team. But we're English. It's got to be coming home on it.
Are we happy with Southgate?
Mate, it's a really good question. Lots of my mates they've heard me for years, and I've always been Southgate in. I feel like the moment for me was Germany at the Euros last time when we hosted. Like when we played them at the quarters, like he blew them out of the park tactically, like man to man, 5 at the back, and that for us was like that's when the penny sunk for me. That I was like, tactically maybe he does have that nous. I think now culturally he's been amazing, and we've got to where we have in the last few tournaments because of the camaraderie and the atmosphere. Tactically for me, he's not the full package.
It's his last tournament. I can't fault him, but with the squad that he's got,
He's a bit shit.
In our lifetime,
Yeah, but he has given us some of the best memories I've ever had.
In our lifetime, we've not had anything better than Southgate, so we don't know much better. And in all fairness to him, he's done. As England fans, we would have never had anything else in our era. So you know what? He wins this tournament, then fucking fair play to him.
With all the talent that we have, we should have fucking won.
Yeah, but we should have won in 2004, 2006. You know, we're all in it. That's the thing.
No, that's the argument. Because we didn't have the stuff that we have on the bench. What we could do now, and what we've been able to do in the last 6 years.
this is our golden generation. This is our golden generation.
Yeah.
Is it coming on, boys?
And there's only one man that makes me fully believe that it could, and it is Jude.
Yeah.
Kane is one of them, and Kane needs to find some form and needs to, when he gets chances, needs to take them. But he almost took. It was a good save, the one that he didn't take. But I was watching Fabregas on the punditry clip this morning, and he was just like,
he's that guy.
And we spoke to Real Madrid fans a few weeks ago, where it was like he plays with his chest out the whole time. Like He just walks around, demands the ball off people. Yeah. In terms of best England Euros moments, not the goal,
the shoulder,
the shoulder
barge, the dig. Yeah,
I was like, this guy is purely just like everything you want.
He believes he can do absolutely everything, doesn't he? And like his we said a couple of weeks ago, his PR stock is high at the minute. After last night, it is. Yeah, it's out of control. It's absolutely out of control. I mean, he was brilliant.
All for it.
Absolutely.
Even his post-match interviews, everything he says is
what's it like being Jude Bellingham at the minute? Well, it could be worse.
And then he goes on by saying it's made up by my family. He's been trained to do this from young.
He is some guy, mate. He's honestly some guy.
He's actually the perfect human being.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit jealous.
You're adding to this propaganda now. The perfect human being.
Yeah, we do the FootballJOE Ultimate Player. Just
Bellingham.
Don't ask any questions anymore. It's just always Jude
Bellingham.
He's got the lot, and he is like, we talk about building him up, and then like the media will knock him down at some point.
Yeah.
He is not giving anyone
the chance
at the moment, and that is great to see. Like we've spoken about, like even people like Wayne Rooney over the years, like didn't do it in multiple major tournaments on the trot, like he did Euro 2004, and then it was sort of struggled to score at major tournaments after that initial sort of teenage period. But he's already done it.
Yeah,
he scored our opening goal at the last two major tournaments.
Yeah, and I'm all up for the bit of I'm all up for the shithousery and the bit of attitude as well.
Same.
Like Serbia went at him; they knew they had to. Or first 20 minutes, how many fouls were there in the first 20 minutes, and how many of them were on Jude Bellingham? It's just horrible, shitty little fouls. And we need a bit of nastiness in us. Yeah, and if that's coming from him, why not?
Yeah. So where do you think we lack to take it home? Where do you think our weak?
It's obvious. It's a weird obvious actually.
Yeah.
Because you could say less obvious.
Yeah. Well, Maguire, the left hand side of the defence at the moment is the problem in terms of it's not what we're used to. But I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, if you'd asked me 2 years ago going into the Qatar World Cup when Maguire was really out of form for both United and he'd had really bad games for England, I'd have been like, we need anyone but Maguire. Like, I don't mind him as an international footballer. He's done it at major tournaments and proven that his record is really strong. But it's weird how, like, now that he is not in the team, everyone's like, we're fucked.
I actually don't think our weak point is our defence. I genuinely think it's our attack. I think we have the players to have the best attack in the world, but we're just so...
We're super functional. We're
so one-dimensional that is a bit just readable. Like everything's in front, and when you're playing against a low block, it's super easy.
Yeah.
Like against Serbia, we should really be scoring 3-4.
On paper, we have the squad all over the pitch to go far. I think one of the guys in there said semi-finals. I'd be really disappointed if we didn't make the semi-final. I'd like to think we've got a good enough squad to make the final. But as is the case, boys, football is not played on paper; it's played on grass. Yeah. And you look at the other starts that teams have made. It's very early days. We can't get too carried away in it. England, compared to a lot of the other teams that started their campaign this week, were shit.
Yeah.
We were, and there's a lot of football to be played. But
that's it.
We weren't free flowing. But also, there's plenty of time to pick it up. There's a lot of football to come in a short space of time. I don't know. I think we could go far.
I saw a tweet from Carl Anker this morning that was like, Gareth Southgate is like a chef that just sticks to the recipe.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, there isn't room for creative flair. There isn't room for a little bit extra. He is sticking to that recipe no matter what.
Yeah.
And
the Delia Smith of international football.
And I think it is like, there's an element of me that's like, I'm okay with that. But last night was a little reminder of Italy in the final at Wembley, Croatia.
Yeah, well, it's not the first time that England have scored and then completely switched off. Yeah. And that's pretty...
But I don't think it's switching off. I think it's failing to adapt. Or not even failing, refusing to adapt to what other teams are doing against you, because
that results in us taking the foot off the gas. That's the problem, because the entire way the game is played then changes entirely. And like I said, if we don't have that flexibility, then we're going to end up seeing more of what we saw in the second half.
The Southgate thing is super just frustrating because like it's so predictable. Like, I saw a tweet yesterday, which might be the funniest tweet. Southgate's the type of guy that his phone will go on 99% and he'll put it on low power mode. Like, he's actually just super boring. Like, and I think
But France, the model is based on what Deschamps does with France. Like, France aren't super free flowing. They've just got great players and they play in a really functional, easy to understand system, and they don't change. But the only thing I would say is we occasionally, when we play against a team like France, who basically I think we probably have the third best squad actually. France and Portugal, I think, have better squads or starting lineups than we do.
Yeah.
Player for player, I think you'd look at them and go like, yeah, they do. So when we play against those teams, I think it's actually important that we do have a way to mix it up. And I think that's where we've come unstuck against really good teams. And it is...
guys, I'm sorry to cut you. I've just looked at the stats. We have probably 5 of the best attacking players in the world in our front 4, 5, even 6, 7. They had 6 shots. We had 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's the stuff that really frustrates me about England.
Thing is, like, we got, first half in particular, we got into some really good positions. There were 2 or 3 dangerous balls in the final third that just needed somebody to get on the end of them. And to be honest, for the first game in a major tournament, with a new squad, with a lot of young players, that's okay. Yeah. We can build on that.
It's a good building. We can build on that. That's exactly that. Building block.
Is it coming home then?
I don't. If we play like this, is just not. And I don't think in tournament football time you have enough time to build. You kind of just have to be.
No, you do. You grow into tournaments. Teams often do it. Argentina lost their first game
to Saudi Arabia. Yeah,
you grow into it and you develop. You learn quickly.
The difference is every England game in World Cup qualifiers and friendlies is literally what we saw today. Yesterday. That's what I'm a bit like. Can we?
Is it going to change?
Yeah. I'm not being funny, boys. 6-1-0 wins gets us a long way.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Who? Yeah. It's true.
I'm gonna be like Joel. Splinters in my arse. We've got a chance.
Yeah.
We've still got a chance.
We've got Jude Bellingham. Of course, we've got a chance.
We've got a chance. One team that actually got pumped. Like, let's not be around the bush.
They did that. Yeah. That is the technical term for what happened on Friday.
Yeah, they got pumped. Scotland.
Yes, sir.
And it's only right we ask the Scotland fans what they think of England, and specifically Gareth Southgate. There's been a lot of talks, a lot of different opinions from England fans. So we decided to ask opposition fans what they thought.
Do you think Gareth Southgate's a manager that would actually strike fear into you, though?
No, I know. As I said, as a Man United fan, he's been obviously linked with Man United recently, and I've been terrified. Please don't come to Man United. But I don't know, like, if they can't do it with this team, with the manager, I'm not sure who they'll be able to do it with. So I don't think Gareth Southgate's the problem. But getting to a final and a semi-final, how much of that's down to the manager and how much of it's down to the players. So I think it's difficult. It's difficult. Like, if not Southgate, then who is always going to be the question.
Is Gareth Southgate a manager that scares you as well?
No.
Why?
What's he achieved?
Not much.
No, exactly. He's a manager at Middlesbrough, and then he managed England. And if he wins the Euros, I will be impressed, because I don't think England's defence is what it could be, especially with injuries.
I hope that manager stays in for all eternity, because he's the worst manager England could have right now. So
yeah.
Hey, I know you're English.
Sign that contract.
Hey, sign that extension.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
Gareth Southgate, someone who scares you.
Ooh, at the moment he's not. It's the team that scares me. And I don't know how about his position after this tournament. Yeah. But yeah, at the moment he does not scare me, but the team does.
Yeah. Does Gareth Southgate scare you?
Not so much as he says.
What do you actually think about us leaving players like Grealish and Marcus Rashford at home?
They're not here.
Yeah, they're not here.
I think it just confirms that you have a big team. Yeah. You have guys like Grealish, Maguire just staying at home. Yeah, it confirms that you have better players here. So that scares me more than Southgate, I think.
Does Gareth Southgate scare you?
No. Who scares us is the little guy who played for Dortmund. And if somebody could win this cup, I think it's Jude.
Jude Bellingham?
Yeah, of course.
What do you think of Jude Bellingham?
Of course, I love him.
If you was a Scotland fan, where would you sit?
I would be grateful
100%
for having a manager like 100%, because his success with England has been like culture shift. But to an extent, Steve Clarke has done a very good job.
Yeah, I like Steve Clarke a lot.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting hearing it from the outside, but I wouldn't necessarily say if you're Scotland you should be too jealous. But I think overall Southgate is a very good manager.
You should be a bit jealous.
Yeah, a bit jealous. So I think, and he has been great for the English game overall, like across the board. Like he is great. Has built the sort of English way of the system, the academy teams.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that would benefit Scotland
the whole
long
and the
term.
way that the nation generally views us under Southgate has been very positive. I don't think Scotland have an issue with how they view their sides. I think they always, they don't qualify for a lot of major tournaments, but they always back themselves when they do.
Just happy to be there.
They won't ever look at it like they're making up the numbers. But I think it's a big culture that Southgate has brought in. I like Steve Clarke a lot, and actually, I would quite like to see Scotland do well at this Euros. It's not going to happen now, I wouldn't have thought. But
Mystic Dunwilson.
Yeah, that's
over
it.
here.
That's it. My big crystal ball.
Southgate.
The question was, do they fear him? Nobody fears Gareth Southgate.
You don't.
How can you fear Southgate? He wears brown cardies.
Yeah.
How could you fear him?
Rio made a great point on BBC yesterday. All the old England managers had a lot more charisma than Southgate. And that will take you further in the media. Having that, backing yourself, having that high energy. Klopp does it all the time. You see managers like Simeone do it all the time. Southgate isn't that guy. I think he's
sensible, and sensible gets boring after a little while.
It does, but I think he doesn't have charisma, but he has aura. I think the thing is people have he's not fashionable.
Yeah,
literally, he's not fashionable.
I don't know. Those M&S waffle knits are creme de la creme.
You did a post on FootballJOE about his best fashion fits.
Yeah, I did.
That was good.
People do respect him, and that's the thing. It's not a fearful respect that somebody like Ancelotti demands from people. But over time, and because of his record, some people will say it's a fluke, some people won't. Because of his record at major tournaments for England, you have to respect him for that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have maybe the charisma or the sort of the sex appeal that a lot of managers have. But there's a lot of respect put on him. A lot of managers have, but there's a lot of respect put on him. And I
Name a manager.
And I think that goes a long
with
way.
sex appeal at this Euros.
Steve Clarke.
Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann's got a bit about him.
That's fair.
He does.
That is so fair.
He does.
I'd give you Deschamps as well.
Oh, yeah,
I'd give you
he
Deschamps.
Yeah, Southgate is just a super weird one. I think overall he's done a really good job for England.
Yeah.
And I think that's more at the youth levels and the academies and getting players through that. I think his time with the first team or the senior squad has kind of been because he's had amazing players at his disposal. Amazing players.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from him. Pep Guardiola's had amazing players at his disposal. And that's why he's...
The first semi-final we reached with him, I don't think you could say we had an unbelievable squad. We had a very good squad, but it wasn't incredible. But I think overall with Southgate, the only thing that I would my final thought with it every time I sort of come back around with the debate is someone else going to be better? Who else do you get in that actually does a better job in an all-round sense?
Yeah. Quick question before we move on. Would you be open to having a non-English manager?
Yeah, of course. I think you have to. I think you have to. And
I don't know. I feel like for me personally, it should be like a FIFA rule that an Englishman has to be the English manager.
Across the world?
I think it just makes it a bit more fun. If you're going to have a full English team, you kind of have to. It kind of makes sense to have an English manager.
Mate, I could give a shit. It's about the results. To be honest.
I just think it makes sense. To be honest, having the country, everyone, the manager, everything. I think it's just part of it. But that's just me. We decided to ask Scotland fans, are you supporting England? I really don't care if Scotland win, lose, draw. It doesn't make a difference to me. We asked Scotland fans. Well, it's true though. It's not going to make a difference to me. So we decided to ask Scotland fans, do they care if England win, lose or draw? Are you supporting the whole nations?
Are you supporting England as well at this one?
If Scotland are out, I don't mind England seeing good. There's been a lot of racism, there's been all that kind of stuff there, but I'd like to see it for the players and for the good fans. 100%.
I think the only thing with Scotland and England is the media.
Yeah.
The media build it up so much, but the England fans, the England players, nothing against them. As long as they can go the whole way.
You look at the English.
Apart from Scotland, they get Scotland in the semis. See you later. It's gone. See Bellingham. See you later. Harry Kane. See you later.
You look at the English fans today, and they've all been saying to us, "Good luck tonight. Good luck tonight."
No, absolutely.
You know,
it's all been in good faith.
there's a small minority of of fans that make the trouble and stuff like that. Forget them. Let's have a good time.
Are you supporting Scotland as well? Do you want them to do well at this time?
Absolutely fucking not. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. To be honest, I'd love to be a Scotland fan just from the point of view of you turn up and it's like, oh, I'm here. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think we take it for granted a little bit?
Oh, definitely. Like, I've been to a few now, and like, you're lucky that you get to come to these. Like, it's the flip though. You have the disappointment of drawing 0-0 with Slovakia and like shit like that. Like, but if you're a Scotland fan, you turn up and you score a goal and you celebrate it, right? We spoke to one guy earlier and he was like, oh yeah, McTominay first goal. He was just buzzing to even be able to be here and say that. So good luck to him. Do I hope they win? No, absolutely not. Do I want Germany to win? No. To be honest, if it gets called off, it's the best result.
How do you feel about the other home nation, England? Do you support the other home nation? Do you support England during this time?
I'm being very honest, and the answer's no. And a lot of that's not. It's not going to do England fans. They're having a good laugh. We've always been bugged in our time, but we see the arrogance of the English media. You know, so they talk about who they're going to get in the semi-finals and the final, so they get ahead of themselves. So I always think they set themselves up for a big crash. Yep, that was it. So we think that happens as well. So I've got no issue with England players, England fans, but the English media really, they get under your skin. Yeah.
Do you support the other home nation? Or?
Hey, silly questions get stupid answers.
Yeah, what's your stupid answer?
Absolutely fucking not.
Are you supporting the home nations? Do you want Scotland to do well?
Well, for me it might be a bit different. I'm like half Scottish, like mum, like born in Glasgow and whatever. So like, yeah, mate, massive. Like I'm definitely backing them. But like for the atmosphere here, we would obviously love a German win. Like obviously we're here for the next week or so. Like
yeah, I think after that reception, I'm definitely pro Scotland. Yeah. I think we've got no choice now.
Are you supporting the other home nation in this?
Well, this is the thing. See if England were supportive to Scotland as we were. We could be to them. Yeah, it'd be great, but no, it's not. It's constantly. I'm not going to change that. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to change that. If we all come to a point where we can all be happy, we can all do what we want together and be happy, it'd be great. But it's never going to be like that.
Ben, I'm sure there's a bit of Scottish in there.
No, I don't think there is. I honestly don't. I watched the Scotland game with two of my girlfriends, like best mates who are both Scottish, and was genuinely rooting for Scotland to win. I generally do want Scotland to win. I think one of the guys said there, like, I think it would be fun to support the Scottish national team despite like the results. But what I will say is it felt so, in like football is great when something unexpected happens. Football, when something totally expected happens, feels almost as good.
Yeah.
It was just like, of course, Germany battered Scotland.
And the fact it was so early doors, the first goal as well. It's just like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That Scottish option, like the meme that's like the clip from Braveheart, where it's like freedom. That's Scotland fans at kickoff, and then 10 minutes, the one from Trainspotting, where it's like, being Scottish is shite.
What was super funny is when Trippier celebrated the tackle in that third minute to get pumped 5-1.
Oh, what, Tierney?
Tierney, yeah. When Tierney celebrated the tackle, the first tackle, he celebrated like he scored a goal. Like you get pumped 5-1. It's just, them things just don't look good on Twitter.
It's harsh because like, I can't remember who said it in punditry. I think Souness was like, it's championship football that's playing against like Europe's elite.
Germany are an unbelievable team.
Yeah. And they seem to have, like, if we're talking about England not clicking pre this tournament, Germany 100%. Have clicked. Like,
you can't go off like the form in previous tournaments. Yes, Germany have probably been disappointing recently. Spain probably as well. They look brilliant. Spain against Croatia. They were dominant as well.
And there's some worrying performances going in.
Yeah.
Worrying.
Like, Croatia's not a team that you could just roll over. Like, Croatia's a solid side. And even like Poland looked good. Even Poland looked good against
I
Netherlands.
thought Switzerland were class.
Switzerland was good.
I mean,
well.
having watched every game so
second
far,
goal is an absolute banger as well. The second curler from like 25 yards.
I thought Switzerland were actually as impressive as anyone else has been in terms of like the way they played. And that's without the hipsters' take is going to be that Ralf Rangnick's Austria are going to be like unbelievable to watch. So they're like I want to set aside a bit of time to watch that as well. But England have won in a boring way. Everyone else has looked fucking class, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. I do like. I like Scotland. I think it's pretty harmless as an Englishman to want Scotland to do well. They're not going to go and win it, and therefore I would quite like them to put in some good performances. Andy Robbo, obviously, as captain as well. I want him to have a good tournament. I don't know. I don't see the problem with it. I don't really understand in this day and age why there is still the kind of
animosity.
Between
that's what those fans were saying. I was surprised by it as well. I was surprised that they were saying that at the start, where it was like, "Oh, if Scotland went out, we want England to win." I was like, I've never heard that before.
No.
The whole, and it might be right. It's the media playing it up, but like I always thought that Scottish people really did not want England to win. But there you go. And English, I mean, there is an element of, I think when you're English, you sort of like look at some of the plucky underdog nations performing well and punching above their weight, and it just being like the happiest ride ever. That you're just like, Wales when they went through and beat Belgium at Euro 2016. It was just like, you did want Wales to win. And it's the same with
as
Scotland.
that story went on, we wanted more and more.
So,
that's football trending for this week, guys. We got so much coming up with the Euros. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we shall see you next week. Peace.